Hello and welcome to the Gymnast Method Training Diaries. I'm not going to read from a book, but I'm hoping it's going to be super useful for you to come back to as a training diary library of all the basics that you need to know for your mobility and strength training. If you're new here, my name is Kim. I'm an ex-gymnast, online personal trainer specialising in mobility, strength and flexibility training. And what is so fundamental for successful training is a clear understanding of how to really engage your core, especially in exercises where your stability is being challenged. And as you may know, poor core engagement can often be linked with the development of low back pain. This is usually the case when you have a force being applied to your body that your core just doesn't have the capacity to support yet. Core stability is just the action that involves limiting any unwanted or excessive motion to our spine. So when you understand how to brace, how to stabilise the lower torso, it has a really good carryover to when you're doing any weighted exercises. So where a lot of people go wrong is focusing solely on the abdominals, and they suck in as much as they can, which makes it really hard to breathe. And the action of over-tensing, drawing everything inwards, can actually lead to a lot more problems. It's important that we learn how to contract, but also how to relax these muscles. So let's look at your core as a cylinder that goes all the way around your lower torso. So I'm going to use this bottle for demonstration. You have your main core muscles that wrap around your torso, but you also have the pelvic floor that sits at the bottom and your diaphragm that sits at the top. So it's probably not the best demonstration because this is a very, very tiny cylinder, but I just want you to use this so you can think that there's muscles at the bottom and at the top as well, as I mentioned. And this is why it's important to focus on your breathing when engaging your core, because so say this is your diaphragm and this is your pelvic floor. As you breathe in, these muscles will slightly lower down, and as you breathe out, they come back up, working together. You've also got the muscles that sit on your side. As you breathe in, they expand, and as you breathe out, they come back in again. So you've got these muscles that are working together just as you're breathing. And this often gets referred to as diaphragmatic breathing or 360 breathing. So let's practice this together. Come to lie on your back and make sure that there is no gaps between your low back and the floor. So press your ribs down and tuck your hips under. Now this action of pressing the ribs down and tucking the hips under is really important to maintain that neutral spine. And I just want you to start by resting one hand just above your pelvis and the other hand at the bottom of your ribs. And just feel yourself breathing in and out and see what your body naturally does. So this is a really beneficial practice for breathing anyway, and also for stress management for a number of reasons. But if you find that you tend to breathe a lot into your shoulders, then that is definitely something to look into. But you should be able to, with focus, draw that breath down into where your hands are. Just feel that rise and fall if you can, of your chest expanding and then relaxing. And don't force it, don't push your stomach out, just feel that natural rise and fall with your breath. And just spend about a minute or so of just practicing that and just getting in tune with your body. And then the next stage is to place your hands on the sides. This is where we start that 360 breathing. We've just focused on the front, now we want to focus on the sides. So try and, as you breathe in and expand the ribs, try and also breathe into your hands, and as you breathe out, let it relax again. So feeling that out and back in. So you can literally move your hands around your body, feeling the rise and fall at the front, at the sides, and also into your back. So you're not going to be able to place your hands there, so maybe just place them on your body. But see if you can breathe in, pressing your back into the floor, and then breathe out, let it relax. And as you get used to sort of isolating those, try and bring it all together. Maybe don't place your hands down now, and see if you can fill up to the front, the back and the sides. And then breathe out, let it relax. So you can pause this video, spend a couple of minutes of just practicing that, because that's going to really help your core engagement practice. And I have another drill coming for you next. So don't worry if you haven't got the diaphragmatic or 360 breathing down yet. A lot of these things just take practice. So maybe set yourself a goal to turn on this video and just practice that diaphragmatic breathing for up to a couple minutes a day. Eventually you'll be slowly building that mind to muscle connection, and that will improve. And then to apply this into your core engagement, what you're going to need is some kind of weight. Now I normally prefer to use a kettlebell just because the shape's a bit better, but any kind of dumbbell weight, or if you only have like a filled up water bottle, that can also work too. Let me just move my microphone around to the back because it's gonna get my way in the back as well. Move it to the side because you're gonna need to put this weight on the front. Oh no, I can't get this off. Okay, panic. Right, just clip it on the side there. So, no, it doesn't want to clip. In fact, I'll just clip it to my top. That's probably the best option. Okay, so lying on your back, you're going to take your weight and you're just going to rest it on the lower part of your stomach. So, see, this dumbbell already is too big for my body because it's a little bit too high up. If it was a kettlebell, all the weight would be much lower. So I'm just going to focus on the lower part of this dumbbell, sort of just above my pelvis. That's where you want it to sit. In fact, let's make sure you can see that. So it's literally just sitting on me like this. I'm going to focus on this area of the dumbbell, rising and falling. Okay, so onto your back. So I just want you to, just for a moment, get used to having this weight on you. For obvious reasons, do not pick a heavy weight because then you're just going to be squished. So I'd probably say max up to 4 kg. So just get used to just breathing again, practicing that 360 breathing that we worked on before. And notice at the front, as you take a deep breath in, should be rising. And as you take a deep breath out, it falls back down again. So it just gives you more awareness to feel just what your muscles are doing in that moment. What we don't want to be doing is just pushing out our stomach, of course, but just using your breath and just feeling how that involuntarily is contracting as you breathe in and as you breathe out. So I want you to actively put this into your breath now. So maybe just have your arms by your side and let's just do 3 deep breaths together and notice how this rises and falls. So breathing in and out. Breathing in, out. One more time, in and out. Okay, hopefully you're starting to get the hang of that. What I want to add in now is that you're going to try and do the same movement. You're going to breathe in. I then want you to hold this at the top and see if you can hold it there as you breathe out. Okay, this is going to be the hard bit. Let's have a go together. 3 deep breaths. So breathing in, hold this bit now, don't let it fall as you breathe out. Breathe out. It's hard to do, right? And again, breathe in and out. Hold it there. Breathe in and out. Okay, and then let it fall. So you should feel that you're able to maintain that tension there. If not, just keep practicing, it will get better. Okay, so we've got the first part of that brace. What you can then also practice is keeping that engagement at the front, but also feel that you're really pressing your back into the floor. So we're getting that, at least the front and the back engagement. But what we ultimately want to work to, of course, that 360 around that cylinder that is our torso, we want to also work into the sides. So this is where you want to place your hands on your sides and just work on that rise and fall again. Feel that as you breathe in, the kettlebell rises, but also that you're expanding at the sides. And then breathe out, let it all just fall and relax. Let's do 2 more deep breaths like that. So breathing in and out. In and out. Okay, so you probably know what's going to come next. We're going to try and apply what we worked on before, where we're going to try and maintain this kettlebell not moving and staying as stable as possible as we breathe in and out. So you'll breathe out into your hands, breathe out into the front, your back into the floor, hold it there, and then try and maintain that as you breathe out. Okay, 3 deep breaths. So hands on your sides, let's go. So breathing in, hold it there and breathe out. You might even feel a little shake going on. Breathe in. Make sure it's out into your hands, hold it, and breathe out. One more time, try and stop that weight moving. Breathe in and out. Very good. So that core brace, just using this weight here is to help you just feel what you want to feel basically. So see if you can come up onto your knees now and create that same core engagement just by holding your hands here. So that's that feeling of bracing or trying to hold the muscles out without pushing them out. So let's go for 3 practice breaths together. So breathing in, breathe out into your hands. Make sure you're engaging at the front and the back, so filling that cylinder. Hold it there now as you breathe out. So it's almost that brace feeling as if, you know, someone's like punching you in the stomach, which I'm hoping most of you don't know what that's like, but if you can imagine, you really would hold that position. But we're trying to maintain breath here. So let's try that again. Breathing in, so breathing out into your hands, out into the front and the back. Hold it there, hold that cylinder, breathe out. Feel that pressure building the whole way round. One more time, breathing in and out. Very good. So just to highlight again the importance of maintaining that hollow position, this wouldn't work so well if my ribs were lifted and my lower back was arched. It would be much harder to hold that position. So make sure always that the ribs are pressed down and that we have this neutral spine position. So let's try together one last time, 3 deep breaths, making sure we've got this position here. You can do this either lying down, kneeling with me, or standing if you want to. I've just seen that my hair is a mess, but never mind. All right, let's go 3 deep breaths, breathing in and out. Build that pressure. 2 more, breathing out into your hands and at the front and the back. And out. Last time, breathing in and out. Starting to get it? I hope so. Keep practicing, but ultimately you want to also practice this when you're doing your weight training. So anytime you're holding a weight, whether it's in front of you, on your back, or whether you're doing a weighted machine, for example, always think with your breath to breathe in, fill up, breathe out, hold it, build that pressure. Okay? If you have any questions, or if you like this video so far, please like and subscribe. That always helps me to know what works best for you guys. And if you comment your questions below, I can get to them and probably make a future video on it in future. So now you've hopefully got that core bracing down, let's apply it to some basic core stability exercises. So before we introduce breathing, I want to focus on your position and how to keep your back flat into the floor. So as you can see, when my back was arched then, I could fit my hand under easily. Ideally, I shouldn't be able to fit my hand underneath my back at all. So come to lie on your back, ribs pressed down, hips tucked under, and just check that you can't fit your hand underneath your back. We're going to work some glute bridges with spine curls, and this is a great way to train your core control and engagement and the ideal body position we need for those positions. So just start with working a few reps. We're going to come back to the breathing in the second set. So I just want to focus on technique here. So work on moving your spine 1 vertebrae at a time. So that you start by tucking your hips under, lifting the hips off, then the lower back, until you come into this full glute bridge position. And as you come down, press the ribs down so that the hips are the last to touch the floor. When you complete glute bridges like this, you should feel your core is having to work much harder to control your spine into these positions. However, if you are arching your back, you're not going to feel your core as well. So make sure that you're not lifting your hips too high. If you're struggling to get to the height that I'm getting to here, it's likely you're restricted in hip extension, and I can certainly do a video on that another time, so please let me know in the comments if you would like that. When you get to the last rep, I'd like you to hold for up to 10 seconds, focusing on keeping that posterior pelvic tilt and pushing through your heels so that you feel your glutes engage. And now is a great time to start practicing that slow, deep breathing whilst you hold, as the temptation is definitely going to be to hold your breath. Okay, we've got one more set to go after this. In between, just gently rock your knees from side to side, just to ease up any tension that you may have there. With this next set, we're going to focus on your breathing for core engagement. So I'd like you to breathe in before you lift your hips, and then breathe out as you lift up into your glute bridge, using the core brace technique we've just worked on. So when you're ready, breathing in and out. Breathe in and out. Now continue that pattern, breathing in on the way down, out on the way up, whilst continuing that same technique, moving your spine 1 vertebrae at a time. When you get to the last rep, you're going to hold it and maintain breathing deeply, just in the same way that you have, but just now you're not moving. Make sure to push through your heels and squeeze your glutes. And then when you get to the end, slowly curl back down to the floor and return to a normal breath. Okay, good work. Rock those knees out side to side. And next we're going to work on some deeper core engagement. So keep a yoga block or a cushion nearby, but start lying on your back with your legs off the floor and just practice your breathing in this position. When you're ready, we're going to use the yoga block or item of your choosing to push against your knees whilst bringing your knees towards your chest. And this is going to create a deep core engagement and be quite challenging for your hip flexors too. So we're going to start now. See how long you can hold this for along with me. I'll let you know when we finish. Remember, you are in control of the intensity, so the less you push, the easier it's going to be, the more manageable, and then the more you push, the more of a challenge it will be. Really important to keep the back and ribs pressed down so there's no arch in your spine. And notice how my knees are coming towards my chest rather than being above my hips. Remember to keep the breath slow and controlled and using it each time to engage the muscles all the way around your lower torso. When you're ready, come out. And if you were feeling pain, there you go. See how, notice how my hips are below my ribs? That's where my low back would arch. So just make sure to always keep the knees driving up towards your chest. And just straighten out your legs in between because it can be quite intense on the hip flexors. But that's a really important part to strengthen alongside your core. So we're going to give that another go. If you felt like it was too much last time, reduce the intensity. But let's see how long you can do this with me now. So breathing in slowly and breathing out. Breathe in and out. Breathing in and out. See if you can do one more time. Breathing in and out. And when you're ready, come out of that, straighten out your legs. And that's something that you can build up to slowly more time as you get stronger. Okay, let's move into a kneeling plank position. Make sure your elbows are underneath your shoulders and take your knees back behind you. Be careful not to arch your lower back like this. Tuck the hips under, just like we worked on with the glute bridge spine curls. Now to engage your core, I want you to actively drag your elbows towards your knees and your knees towards your elbows without moving anywhere. You'll feel as soon as you do that, your core light up, and then in the next set, we're going to work on your deep breathing with this. So it's not about the time that you hold with this exercise, it's about the resistance that you create for your core muscles. Okay, come out of that into a child's pose. This is a nice relaxing position. We'll just spend a few seconds here before we go for round 2 of that kneeling plank hold. So now you've got an idea of what it involves, we're going to incorporate the deep breathing with this. So back into position, elbows under shoulders, knees back behind hips. Tuck the hips under, dragging the elbows towards the knees. And I want you to slowly breathe in and breathe out. Remembering that 360 breathing that we're working on. Breathing in and out. Breathe in and out. One more time. Breathing in and out. And then sit back into a child's pose. So hopefully you're feeling what I mean about lighting up the core and feeling it a lot more rather than just holding a regular plank hold. You don't even need to hold it for that long, but as you get stronger, you can work on holding for maybe up to 30 seconds. Okay, last exercise and the best one for challenging core stability. Make sure hands are under shoulders, knees are under hips, and again, no arch in the back, ribs pressed down. Let's work on form first and break this down into movements. So start by taking one leg towards the back of the room but keeping the foot on the floor, and then taking the hand away and reaching to the opposite end of the room. Notice how my shape hasn't changed. You'll then switch sides, check how that feels, and if that's the right level for you, continue like so. Otherwise we're going to progress, but it's important to note with this next version that you are not arching your back or lifting your leg up towards the ceiling. Keep the ribs pressed down and keep that core tight. So I want you to think about reaching the heel to one end of the room and your fingertips to the other. And it's really important to try and keep both hip bones facing the floor throughout this so that you don't rock side to side. So let's start on right arm forward, left leg back, touch the knee and then reach away. And if we're going to add the breathing in now for this set, breathe in as you touch your knee, breathe out as you reach away. Breathe in and out. Let's try the same on the other side. So, breathing out and in, out, in. Slow and controlled, trying to keep as little movement as possible as you match your breathing to the movement, remembering that 360 cylinder surrounding your core. Okay, sit back and just roll out your wrists. If you find that your wrists get sore when you put weight onto them, let me know in the comments and that's something that I can do a further video on. But a good tip when doing any weight-bearing stuff on your hands is to spread your fingers apart and actively grip the floor, as this will help to engage your hand and forearm muscles to support you better. It will take some getting used to, but like I keep saying, practice makes perfect. So let's give that a go in this next set. Again, ribs pressed down, core braced, make sure there's no movement in the torso, pushing the ground away. Let's go. So breathing out, breathing in, out, in, out, in, see if you can match up with me. Out, in. One more time. Breathing in and reset. Changing sides now. Breathing in and out. In, out. Keep focused on your core. In, out, in, out. One more time. Breathing in and out. Well done. So how did you find those basics? Was it easy for you to do? Great. Was it actually more challenging than you expected? Also great, you now know what you need to focus on, so keep working on these for a few more weeks. There's certainly so many ways that you can challenge your core going forwards now, but as long as you understand how to brace, it's going to help you with every single training exercise you ever do. So as I mentioned before, please like and subscribe, it really goes a long way. And any questions you have, please let me know in the comments, and I will make sure to answer, and maybe I'll also do a detailed video on that topic as well. Thanks for joining the Gymnast Method Diaries, and I'll see you next time.